Hello, and welcome to our Sunday Press and Media Brief. This is Vitalis Peter. I am your host today, and joining me is the President and CEO of the Africa Chamber of Digital Commerce, Mr. Eric Kaigama, as well as the Head of Communication, Mr. Jiraji Kelvin, and our very special guest that has been with us here every Sunday, Dr. Chinedu Nweke, and he is the founder of Village Seed Ventures. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited. It's 26 days to go before we put on the world stage, how we can accelerate private and public tech investment into Africa and the diaspora community. And that is the Imagine Africa Forum. The EAF is a signature event of the Africa Chamber of Digital Commerce and a nonprofit organization that is headquartered here in Minnesota. It offers the gateway to the community of people from African descent in the diaspora and also people living on the continent of Africa. The EAF is a digital confluence of elevated ideas and mindset, a solution focus that seeks to accelerate tech investment in Africa and the diaspora community in a strategic and impactful way. The EAF seeks to bring together professionals, founders, investors, and public sector from Africa and the diaspora nations to showcase innovations, accelerate accomplishments, and seal deals and foster a private-public partnership ecosystem. And so this event is scheduled to happen here in September in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. And that will be from the 17th through the 24th. And so just so you know, the Twin Cities Startup Week is the second largest startup week in North America. And so that's a big deal for us to be on that stage. This event will play host to about 19,000 attendees and over 200 events and hundreds of speakers and different companies and organizations and startups that will be pitching and demonstrating, their innovations. So please, if you haven't done so, visit our website, imagineafricaforum.com, to get more information on how you can be a part of this event, or you can reach us at info@imagineafricaforum.org or info@acofdcinc.org, info@acofdcinc.org. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you're joining us on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook or any other social media that we're streaming this on, we welcome you and thank you for being with us here today. To start things off, I'm going to just go to President and CEO of the Chamber and also Chair of the Logistics Committee for the Imagine Africa Forum to give us an update as to where we stand with things heading down or heading up to this great event coming up in September. Mr. Eric, you have the microphone, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vitalis. Awesome. Amazing job. We're once again here, this press and media brief. And we're glad, to have, Jiraji and Regis and also, John Mambela. Welcome. And it's as the clock, the time is ticking away, there are a lot of scrambling going on behind the scenes, to to make sure, everything, we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, especially with the challenge of, visas. Most of our guests, especially on the public sector side, not the public sector side, but public sector side people that whose visas have expired, they need to renew, and there's a freeze, on visa issuance, in most of the, if not all the U.S. embassies. So we're trying to see what we can do locally within North America, where we can just folks that could represent, those individuals that unfortunately have not been able to get those visas, and their status is still pending. But we promise it's going to be an exciting experience. And as a matter of fact, this even the host, the organizers of the week itself, this is one of the premier events, they're hoping, that is on on their schedule. Ours, as we've said already, it's to showcase, Africa, to leverage technology and showcase it to the best of our ability. And since it's hybrid, we're going to have, day one dedicated to virtual events, and we're going to have, the typical, keynote, and then we have, the panel. We have the panel, and also a bit of showcase as well. A few, startups, both on the continent and also here. And then day two is meant on the topic itself. It's going to be on an inclusive digital economy. We can't talk about digital economy if we don't look at the rural parts of Africa, where first they're dealing with a lack of resource, they're dealing with lack of access to health and a bunch of other things, and we feel everything is tied to access to the funds. And I did hear Dr. Chinedu was saying something about health in Sokoto, Nigeria. I'm sure it's probably going to he's maybe thinking of leveraging technology in that area. I don't want to preempt what he's working on, but I have a feeling there's a bit of tech that will be deployed there as well. So we are really working, we're working, behind the scenes, rigorously to make sure, that, everyone gets the topics and also the subtopics, and also get them prepared, understand what platform we're using. Just in case if you're wondering, if you're watching out there, we're going to use the Hopin, so get on Hopin and get acquainted with it. And then, and also for those like John Lombela out of SA, one of the few lucky ones that we feel lucky, that he's going to be here in person. He already has visa. He doesn't have a visa issue, so he's going. If everything goes well, and we pray, he was going to join us here, in September to be part of this. It's simple. We want to showcase the brilliance that is within the continent and also the diaspora community. Access is everything, and Dr. Chinedu is in the business of investment. He knows how it is. It takes is about credibility. It's about team and other things that you need to come with. So part of what we do is we try to do the aim, which is accelerate, incubate, and also mentor virtually. And then hopefully with that aim, with the hybrid, we're able to prepare African projects, and also make them more attractive to, let's say, financiers or investors in there. And we have Regis here who has been in the space of trade and investment, and has been part of an organization that have been doing a lot to get the continent of Africa and the US to do more in terms of trade and also investment. And we're also glad to have him here. But we are absolutely looking forward to both in the way we deliver this event, and also delivering value to our community in Africa, leveraging technology, and a bit of we call it the mindset reconstruction in a way. It doesn't take a whole lot, and if you look at the likes of Dr. Chinedu, what they're doing with the little resource God has blessed them with, and the impact they're already creating. And I think the ripple effect of it, in a year or two, you're going to see the kind of jobs it's going to create. And if you look at where John Lombela is in South Africa, the unemployment is 30%, which is absolutely tragic, And we feel if we support the likes of Regis, John Lombela, Chinedus, the Juragis and Vitalises and others, the speakers and the moderators that are going to be part of the event, it's that the ripple effect of it translates, or that converts into job opportunities. And that's what excites us. And that's why, if you look at our special project, especially, we're embarking on a 3.5 million. We want to train 3.5 million Africans in the no-code technology. With the rise of AI, most of the things you do manually will be rendered useless, basically. So with the leverage of AI, we now have the rise of the no-code technology. Things that men and women in Africa can learn. You can do the traditional coding, but there's something accessible to you can learn within 3 months. So we're a partnership with Delify out of UK, operating out of Canada. we intend to deliver that, where we can train them 3 months, they can build products, software products. We're talking about enterprise, a great type, products where they can monetize, and also they can participate in the remote job, space as well. So those are things that we'll continue to do. Hopefully the ripple effect of this event is to magnify, like the bank, John Lombela is building, the venture, Chinedu is building, and some of the things, incredible things, like Regis, on the steam of the back door, and the life and the pilots themselves, and others, to bring to nudge, people with resource, and also to bring them closer to opportunity. We have, the advantage of proximity, and they have, quite disadvantaged by, the fact that, there's certain things that are not accessible to them. So we are there to become, to serve as a conduit, where we'll continue to work with them, be an organization that serves consistently this conversation, this engagement happening between our brothers and sisters on the continent, and also some of us, that are outside, on how to move it forward. And it's all about solutioning. The event is all going to be entirely about solutioning. You're not going to hear anything about, any whiny stuff, to put it more mildly. It's going to focus, how can we elevate projects? How can we position them, to access, resource, to really that will catapult, their project to a place where it becomes an opportunity where they can employ a lot of Africans, in their organization. With that said, thank you for joining, everyone. And I nudge it back to Vitalis Sita. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric Kaigama, CEO, President of the Chamber, also Chair of the Logistics Committee for the Imagine Africa Forum. Thank you so much, sir, for starting us off in that, giving us a rich background as to why, we think that we are at the crossroads of a time in history that, I believe history books will remember us, and the generations to come will probably say thank our forefathers for starting tall and strong in this moment. So I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. And I also want to welcome Mr. John Lombela. Welcome, sir, from South Africa. You're the founder of Axelio. I said that right, digital bank. And I understand you're just coming hot off a wedding party. So I hope you bring in that team to share with us here on this beautiful Sunday morning here on our side of the continent. You're very welcome, sir. And I just want to acknowledge again my good friend Regis Ozoma. Thank you for being with us here again today, and your wealth of knowledge and participation and sharing, and also asking questions to let our audience better understand what we're trying to do with the Imagine African Forum event will be very valuable to us. So again, the format here is you just fry us, right? We have the organizing team here and also the administrative team of the Imagine African Forum. They're ready and willing to answer any questions that will be set towards educating and informing the public about what we're trying to do here. You here on the panel have obviously been briefed, understood, and buy into the vision of what we're trying to do here. So we do appreciate that. So if we can join hands for the purpose of this press and media brief, be able to see how we can expound on the things that we're trying to do here with the Imagine African Forum. So thank you very much. But at the same time, we're just gonna be asking some questions that are directed towards, bringing out some of the information that is also in demand out there on our public. And we are streaming live on YouTube. So just so you know, smile for the camera because there are probably hundreds of thousands of people watching you. So that is good. Let your friends and family know. And even after this event, please share out this video. We'll have the link available to all of you. So thank you very much for that. And I just want to go and just give Mr. Lombela the chance to introduce himself and talk about his great work in South Africa. And also, we want to know what really piques his interest with what we're trying to do here with the Imagine African Forum. You have the microphone, sir.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, Vitalis, for that warm welcome. I really appreciate it. First of all, I am originally from the Congo. I speak French. I am a native from the DRC, but I've been
Okay.
in South Africa for the last bonjour, merci beaucoup. So I've been in South Africa for the last 19 years. But currently, I am actually joining you guys live from my home in the DRC. But I will be heading back to South Africa sometime next weekend. Eric and I connected just a few months back, sometimes early this year, and we started really having an awesome conversation. I mean, he's been following me for quite a while on my LinkedIn and seeing exactly how my team and I are quite engaging on this initiative around the Axalio. Axalio, you said it right, is actually a digital banking platform that focuses entirely on demystifying access to investment opportunities. I mean, this is something that the Black man, the Black African child is always left behind. We see, the one thing that annoys me a lot is always seeing us, the Black community, praising so much of the work that is being done by the Western world when it comes to big tech firm, from the moment they actually start up the business and how they actually even get access to seed money, pre-seed money, how their community believes so much in what they're building and how they're able to go from series A to B, C, D, or whatever until they actually list on a NASDAQ, and then they become a unicorn and they're valued at tens of billions of dollars. But guess what? We are often left behind because we do not participate early on these opportunities, whether it is pre-IPO or so many of these financial opportunities that actually ultimately help us to create wealth for ourselves, right? So we look at Revolut, for example. Revolut out of the US today, sorry, out of the UK today is valued. They haven't actually even made an interest on the stock market yet, but today is valued at close to $35 billion because of the so many fundraisers they've been able to have. Now imagine when they decide to actually go listing on the stock market, which definitely they're actually working and getting ready for that. But guess what? How many people in Africa have access to Revolut? How many people in Africa have access to Monzo? How many people in Africa have access to Robinhood? Not many of these guys, right? So we end up being the guys praising their technology, praising Facebook, praising TikTok, praising all these technologies, but we are ultimately really left behind. So my journey is obviously in the financial sector. There are many people, many other entrepreneurs like myself who think like me, who are in different other industries, but my focus was around financial accessibility. I wanted to be able to democratize access to some of the world's best investment opportunities and bring them to Africa, but at the same time as well, unlock the true potential and wealth that Africa has when it comes to its commodities and so forth, and then bring them to the world, right? So we live in a world where we can literally achieve all of that using technology. And when I look at the development across Africa, and I can see really Nigeria at the forefront. I love Nigeria. I've been there before. I've been to Lagos, and I really love it. Besides the traffic, I love Lagos very, very much, right? But I love as well how Nigerian people how are go-getters. I've been in South Africa for 19 years. And when I compare the mindset, I can definitely tell you that South Africa for me, sorry, Nigeria for me is definitely at the top front when it comes to really being goal-getters and also in the fintech world. Okay, although South Africa is sort of the benchmark for Africa, but the reality is Nigerians are really at the forefront. We're looking to blockchain technology, for example. We're looking to Bitcoin. We're looking to trading cryptos. Nigeria tops the world when it comes to that. So we see that in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, there is a lot of fintech solutions out there, but most of them focus on providing payment rails. So they focus on providing solutions like the PayPal's, the Stripe, the Venmos, and so forth, right? So I wanted to enter the space of fintech, not offering what is already there because I can work with them, but I wanted to enter this space because I want to respond to one fundamental issue that the Black child today is facing. It is exactly about how do I create wealth? How do I invest? How do I participate in a global financial economy that would allow me to embark on a journey towards understanding the stock market, understanding crypto, but the easiest way possible, right? And so what I wanted to do was not to compete, but to do what other people are already doing. We see Paystack, we see Floataware. I mean, these are all amazing unicorns, or actually close to unicorn platforms out of Nigeria, and also some of them in South Africa. But I wanted to focus on what a lot of the people out there aren't really talking about, which was true financial inclusion by attracting these folks, the young people right now, to be part of a financial journey that will allow them to create wealth. Now, you come in the country like the DRC, where there's about 5% only penetration of the bank into the banking system. And I always say this, and I always say, and I will always say that the traditional banking system in Africa, especially in countries like the DRC, are contributing towards financial exclusion. They don't contribute towards financial inclusion. And the reason for that is they don't have any product that actually suit the narratives of these people. They don't understand what these people are looking for. They don't understand what the young people are really yearning to embrace when it comes to the financial sector. They're only interested exactly about how fat their pockets actually deepen, right? The model is about charging the fees for you keeping your money in their bank. That's all it is. They don't have a an investment product. None of the banks in the DRC here has a product from an investment perspective, right? So all they want is, hey, bring your money, keep it in the bank, and every single month we're going to charge you a fee for keeping money in the bank. Now, how do you include somebody who barely makes it every single month? How do you include somebody who actually makes about $100 a month and encourage that person to being able to come into your bank and put money there? I mean, they were like, hey, if I put $100 right now, the one thing that frustrates that person is that at the end of the month, they actually come in and say, you know what, I put $100 here, and now I am like $14 down. I mean, how the hell do you explain that shit? I mean, how do you actually make it so that I can enjoy the benefit of being in your platform, right? And for us to really be able to respond to those narratives and to change the minds of other people, we need to go very close to them. So how do we now get them to come participating in a journey where all of us can be enjoying the benefit of, hey, you know what? Facebook is worth $1 trillion. Okay, fine. How does that translate into the bottom line of having some money in my pocket, right? How is really Facebook contributing towards me making money, as opposed to them taking money away from me all the time, or my attention, right? Because then if I'm giving Facebook my attention, guess what? I am forgetting to building my dreams, or I'm forgetting to building my applications, my business. And so because I'm putting too much attention into Facebook, and guess what? The people who understand that they need my attention, they're the guys who are actually not getting money away from me. And I am putting content, and I'm building all these things and making Facebook an awesome platform, providing feedback. But in the end, I don't get any reward out of it. So we want to change that. I came in this journey because I wanted to turn around what I thought was dormant, unintelligent capital that is waiting to be stimulated or put back in an ecosystem for us to stimulate our digital economy, right? So the best way for us to do that, and thank you to the blockchain technology as well as digital asset, the best way for us to do that is to also embark on a journey where we can tokenize our asset, right? So I can come to Nigeria, for example, and work very closely in the agribusiness and build smaller investable product opportunities to helping the MSMEs, right, get access to capital from those dormant capital that actually isn't doing much, but can come in and stimulate that particular business, because a lady out there has got an amazing, brilliant idea, and the only thing she's looking for is to raise about close to $250,000 that has the potential to actually yield about $1.5 million per year revenue. So how can we help that particular lady who's already proven that, you know what, traditionally, without even your financial system and all these financial terms, I'm already doing it. But what I need right now, if I do this and I do that comes 5, I have the potential to turn my business into a 1.5 million, and I can potentially be a 10 million business, because if you scale it, okay, that business, bring that business, bring that model traditional into an ecosystem of digital. People need to realize that when we talk about the digital transformation, it's just about converting the traditional business model by aggregating funds or capital in a digital way, because all you do is actually using your digital tool to be able to push through your capital so it can be used for doing good. And that good is, hey, let's invest in that business. Let's actually invest in this. Let's invest in that. And then money is not being used for doing good and changing our landscape, changing. That's exactly how I do believe that we can actually regain that financial traction by helping communities in Africa to understand each other and also embark on that particular journey. So that's what I am really looking to do here. I want somebody in Nigeria to invest in digital gold in the DRC, because we've got so much wealth and riches. I want somebody in Ghana to say, hey, you know what? I want to invest in coltan or cobalt, because the future of cars is electric vehicles. That's a journey I'm on, and I really thank and appreciate about this.
I'm gonna just thank you so much. That is awesome. You know what? That is just the tip of the iceberg. That's just a little bit of it. And listening to that, tell me why you will not be part of the EAF coming here in September. It's awesome. I mean, that's what Mr. John Lambella is going to bring to the Twin Cities. He's going to talk more about that. He's going to talk more about the products that he's coming up with and how that is set to transform the continent of Africa. And especially like he talked about the Black child, creating a future of access, and especially access to finance, and then changing our mindset in the way we look at finance, and not doing it in the way that we fit the pockets of the already big fish out there, and then our own little resources are being, dwindling by the day. So very awesome. I'm so excited, waiting to see you here in Minnesota, Minneapolis. I hope that you guys will tune in either virtually or you're tuning in by just being here in Minneapolis and being able to interact with Mr. John. That will be awesome. I'm really excited for that. So thank you so much. And I want to
Vitali, sorry, a quick one, just a follow-up question for John.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, John. I like your perception about the future of finance in Africa. And then I see that you've actually thought it through. Yeah, but what is the place of regulation in all this, in all your wonderful concept and idea? Because I see that regulation is actually an issue today in Africa, especially around the emerging tech space. So what is the place of regulation in your wonderful idea? Yeah, thank you.
That's a very, very interesting question. Is that Jiraji, Calvin? Thanks for that question. And look, we've seen some of the turmoil that's happened this year, particularly in Nigeria, with the central bank banning crypto access and all that kind of stuff. We've seen a lot of many other African countries really still lagging behind, and also even in the DRC as well, where the central bank kind of prohibited the use or the trading of digital, particularly the Bitcoin, and warning people about it, right? So first of all, there's one thing to understand here. Blockchain technology ain't going away. It is not going away. It's a technology that's just about, I would say about 11 years old, and has proven its worth. And a lot of people around the world, a lot of government around the world are now fully embracing it. There's one fundamental thing that you and I and the people who are embracing emerging technology need to be able to do. So we need to be part of the narrative. It's something that is not going to change overnight, but through education and through empowering these people in government, we need to be able to tell them exactly, to show them exactly the benefit. I mean, luckily in South Africa, it's not forbidden, but we now see that the South African Revenue Tax Authority or Revenue Services Authority is not looking to regulate that particular environment and collecting taxes from people who are trading crypto, right? Now, why aren't they banning it as opposed to regulating how they can actually collect taxes? Because I've seen the value of it, right? Now, when it comes to Nigeria, we see that there is a different connotation there. We see it's actually a political narrative in the quest to banning and squashing the dreams of everybody who believes in crypto, because the government is seeing itself losing control over what is happening with its fiat currency. And guess what? They're actually embarking on a journey towards building the CBDC. Okay, so the fact that they're doing that is that they still believe in crypto, they still believe in blockchain, but they want to find a way on regulating it. So you and I and everybody else in this space need to be able to provide an education platform helping these guys. In fact, there is a very nice startup company in Nigeria. I forgot the name though. I mean, they're definitely to watch. What they are doing is that they're educating the government on the benefit of blockchain technology and crypto. And in fact, this is a startup that definitely will contribute, to my own personal view, will contribute towards shaping the narrative or the regulatory framework that Nigeria will need to adapt when it comes to blockchain technology and crypto. The same thing is happening in the DRC. The president is promoting digital transformation. I have been for the last 5 years one of the outspoken speakers in the DRC and across the globe, and people are often coming back to me to speak at events and also engage with authorities for us to be able to do that. But when it comes to Exalio, there's one thing that we're doing. We're providing both the best of both worlds. So we understand the nature of traditional market, but we also realize the potential benefit and especially the spearheading nature of what blockchain technology and the future of crypto is going to bring, the whole aspect of decentralized finance. So we need to be able to balance the two, and that's exactly what I am bringing. We're balancing the two. For example, within the same platform, if I am yet unable to provide those tools within a specific jurisdiction, guess what? I will not offer you, a Nigerian citizen, an opportunity to invest in crypto because the government prohibits you from doing that. Therefore, my on and off rail ramps will not touch crypto in that particular jurisdiction. However, the same will be available in South Africa. That's why during the KYC process, I need to be on the side of the law. When I am collecting your data, I need to understand where you're from. Who are you? What nationality you are. If you are American, hey, guess what? I probably don't want necessarily to deal with an American citizen right now because of the complexity there is of cashing American dollars or the tax monies into our platform, right? So those are the things. It's a continuous evolving journey, my friends. It's not going to happen overnight right now, but we're building, because in 5 years from now, the young people who are born in the world of TikTok, Instagram, and so forth, these are the people we're building these solutions for, because our parents' journey and opportunities aren't the same as ours right now. And the fintech world or technology as a whole is definitely evolving, and we need to prepare ourselves for what is going to transcend in 5 years from now. 5 years from now, after we've built these rails, we are going to be sitting and say, no, in fact, reminiscing and coming back to this event again and say, wow, we actually started in Minnesota. 5 years later, this is where we are. 10 years later, we've got something to show for our communities, for our families, for our children, right? And that's exactly, for me, it's a mission, it's a global mission, mission-driven purpose. And that's exactly why I'm working towards accomplishing all this goal. Do we have the answers to all these questions right now? No. Are we doing something about it? Yes, but we got to start somewhere.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. Nombela. Yeah, I like the fact that you're very passionate, and then you happen to fall within my demographics, the youth. So do you think young people in Africa are doing enough in terms of emerging technology adoption and acceleration? Yeah, do you think young people are actually doing enough?
Well, look, young people aren't necessarily doing enough, and that's for multiple factors, right? First of all, in certain African countries, smartphone penetration is very, very, very poor. It's only in the last 5 years we see a great change in advance when it comes to embracing technology and mobile devices and all that kind of stuff, right? Just about yesterday, today's what? No, just about Friday, I had finished hosting a full boot camp on out of the what we call the PATEF, which is the Pan African Technology Foundation. So what are we doing there? We are educating. We have about 45 countries registered as part of that particular platform. And guess what? It was all about educating the youth about technology, about the emerging technology, and helping them to understand exactly what's going on. It was amazing to see the various speakers out there talking about artificial intelligence out of Morocco, from guys from Nigeria, guys from all over Africa. So we combine them into one single platform. But people like you and I and us in this platform are the guys who are the leaders that can actually encourage the youth to start learning. We know what the African people need, but we need to encourage them to learn. But also, we need we need to lobby our way through with government, right? Think about it. If, for example, like in Chad, I was shocked to hear that 1 gigabyte of data, 1 gig of data, that in South Africa costs just about almost $1, right? 1 gig of data costs about $18 in Chad. Now, how can that much money be spent for 1 gigabyte of data so that the youth of today be learning exactly about the dynamics of what's going on around the digital space, for them to understand about crypto, understand about NFTs, understand about digital art, understand how they can start making money before they're 20, before they're 15, where we see exactly the guys in America at 12 years of age already making $200,000 on NFT because of, hey, this guy had access to Google, he had access to a digital pen and a stupid little laptop, and was able to draw some stupid little crypto punch and selling it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay? These are the things that we need to check.
Sorry, I gotta come in here. Thank you so much. I gotta come in here now. Thank you, Girardi, for your question. No, that's why I have to come in here, because I have a responsibility to deliver a world-class event here coming up in September, and the pre-show is good enough right here. We're gonna leave it there. More to come in September 20th and 22nd. Please join us here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities here in Minnesota, for the Imagine African Forum event. Is going to be on fire. You probably have seen sample of that coming from Mr. John Lambella, and we are so excited, sir. And many other speakers like him will be here. We'll be focusing on some of these hot topics that I know you have in your minds, and they're gonna dissect it. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna answer your questions. And Girardi started already, and I know he's got a lot more. I got a lot more in my pocket too, but again, I want to serve this for the world stage that we're looking forward to present our event. And so with that, I thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hang on, you got more to say in other aspects or other matters. And I just want to just give our panel here and other guests the opportunity to kind of chime in and just kind of scratch the surface here on some of the things that we're going to be discussing here at the Imagine African Forum event. And I'd like to just welcome a few folks that have joined us here. Mr. Edo has joined us. Welcome, sir. And I don't know if I'm missing somebody, but if you just joined us, thank you. Welcome to a Sunday Press and Media Brief on the heels of the Imagine African Forum. We are discussing about some of the aspects of the event and letting our audience out there know what to expect, and maybe answer some of the key logistics questions that people might have in accessing the event or attending the event. We are here to facilitate. We are here to help you be a part of that. This is something that is a signature event of the African Chamber of Digital Commerce, and it is the first of its kind. And this is going to be a recurring event happening every year, but we want to start off on a good note. This is something that is going to be able to change the narrative of development in terms of finance, access, even the knowledge of finance, like good friend Mr. Lambella was just talking about, understanding what is work and where we should focus our energy and effort. That is what we're trying to bring here. Our goal is to leverage emerging technologies to bring about sustainable development to Africans and the African continent, people living on the continent, also Africans in diaspora and diaspora nations as well. We're not leaving them out. So it is an all-inclusive, it is a confluence of ideas, a confluence of innovation, and experts coming together to be able to do something great for all of us and for posterity. So thank you for joining us today. And I just want to ask Mr. Chinedu if he can come on the camera, sir. And if you're still here with us, hear me. I want to ask you a question in the area of investment, and I just want to just tell us, as we're looking at driving the whole idea of investment on the continent with the startups and the different things that are happening on the continent as we showcase them. What is the mindset of investment when you talk about investing? Somebody's like, oh yeah, so Dr. Chinedu is the doctor, so yeah, these are people of that caliber, that those are the ones that can be talking investment or thinking about investment. What will you have to say about that to anybody out there? What will be the criteria? Is there a benchmark or measuring rod as to who is supposed to think about investing in anything on the continent? Your response, sir.
Right, certainly. Thanks, my colleagues, for that. Also, very insightful, great insight from the last speaker, John. And my response is also going to tie into a few things that he has said in terms of, bottom line is, as Africans, for us to be able to entrench the type of development that we want, we have to be involved in one way or the other. Now, specifically, to get involved in investing in startups and high risk facilities, they're setting definitions, especially also kind of guided by jurisdiction based on where you're located. Different countries have different rules and regulations that define who can invest in certain types of products. And I can also understand why John would say, hey, the complexities in the US, they wouldn't even want to go there yet. So yes, I'm based in the US, and for that reason, we as the village have put together our platform that enables people who are considered accredited investors to be able to come through our platform to do these investments, whether they're in the US or outside of the US. And that certainly requires a lot of regulatory oversight. Through our company, V Square Capital, we've been able to essentially follow the process and play by the rules, and that gives us the opportunity to bring people, like-minded people who meet certain definitions, to be able to identify startups across the world, and that they can participate in. But the big picture is, outside of the US, for example, and depending on each jurisdiction, is this whole idea of being able to channel our resources together towards the development of Africa. Whether we like it or not, whether you're in South Africa, in the Congo, Nigeria, we're consumers. We're consuming Facebook, we're consuming Twitter, we're consuming TikTok. It's only natural that we also have to not just also be producers in terms of bringing out, producing these types of platforms, but we also contribute, develop ways to contribute to investing in this. Just exactly like John said, 5 years from now, the consumers of TikTok, how can we channel? The world is moving. It's moving quickly, right? Through, whether decentralized finance or blockchain and all of these things are out there, people can participate. The most important thing is participation, getting people to be comfortable to participate, and having, the right framework, legal and technological framework that will allow this participation with the least friction or the least regulatory burden per se. Yes. So also just reacting to John, and also to add a few things that we've done already. Yes, we're proud to say that we've invested in startups that hopefully will join the unicorns like the Revoluts of this world, the Robin Hoods of this world, and they're all out there on our platform, and we as a group are proud to be associated with them, and hopefully they'll eventually come up to be real products that came out of Africa. So I know that response was packed, but I hope I gave you the exact response that you needed.
Yeah, thank you. That was bad, but I wanted to just to open the minds of people from our background, right? Africans in diaspora. Just in summary, when it comes to investment, people are thinking, well, that's not for me. It's for the likes of Dr. Chinedu, right? But again, the different avenues of investment, and the EAF is out to push towards how Africans themselves can become the solution to their own problem. And that's part of that problem is investing in Africa. And especially for Africans like those of us in the diaspora, we have different capacities and different capabilities and potential to be able to reinvest, so invest in different things back in the continent. So, in your view, what would be the kind of framework for that to happen? Besides, their narrative or the social narrative that it's the people of the higher status that could be a part of that investment pool.
Right, and I think that's where the rules and regulations that surround investing obviously are out there to protect the populace, to protect the masses, and also the reason why you have things like accredited investors is so that people who are able to participate in high risk investments are people who understand it and can withstand potential fallouts. Startups are high risk. Only 9 out of 10 of startups succeed. But we're not just talking about startups here. We're talking about sustainable development in Africa. So I think that, and this is where the governments of African countries, would have to work with a forum like ours to create that environment where, whether it's bilateral relations, between governments that allows their citizens to be able to contribute, to participate. These are the areas where you would need the governments to come into play, because people want to be able to participate without having to break international laws or get into situations that puts them at risk. Whether it's through tax incentives or things like that. I don't know that I have the exact answer. But again, one thing that we've also realized is in the investments that we've done, it really has been by what I consider ordinary people. Yes, I'm a physician, but what are the other physicians doing? What are the other professionals doing? What are the lawyers doing? What are the engineers doing? What are the business owners doing in the diaspora? Before we even go to the ordinary, and trying to use the right words, before we go to the people who may be classified as not accredited, there's already a whole, there's already the accredited investors who are not participating. Our goal is to get that cohort to participate. That in itself is a large cohort.
Okay.
I've seen.
Let me jump in and just ask you this. So now, would you say, one, is there a need for education in our community about investment, and also with your organization, are you guys open to for avenues to be able to educate? We're getting some feedback here. Sorry. Are you open for avenues to be able to mentor mentor and educate other young, people that are interested in the whole investment aspect of area.
Absolutely, that's certainly one of the things that we promote, is to be able to get some awareness out there. Which is also part of the reason we're involved in this EAF, is to get some awareness out there, let people know what their colleagues are doing, what their peers are doing, and to lay down the framework, that the legal and regulatory framework that makes it easy for people to identify like minds and identify the right projects, or the projects that they're passionate about, where they can contribute to the development of Africa. Without mincing words, there's no other way we're going to do it, without channeling the resources. And as diasporans, I think that we can only have that impact with our numbers. It's a numbers game. If you have, in our group of just only 400 people, where we've been able to channel combined investments of almost $5 million, it just tells you how much you can do. This is only 400 people. There are 1.7 million diasporans of Nigerian origin. We're not even talking about Africa, the entire Africa. What if we're able to get just a fraction of those people, and do this on a larger scale? I think that we can then see direct impacts. We can replicate free trade zones. We can replicate massive infrastructural developments. That's all private driven, with the government providing a framework, essentially. The government, rather than these individuals, for example, trying to figure out how to channel these resources and doing it right, we would need the recipient government through their posts out in these different countries, especially in the West, to create that framework that makes it seamless. If a million diasporans come together and want to start a massive real estate development in Rwanda, they shouldn't have to think about the barriers. All they have to do is go on an app or whatever platform and contribute their $10 or $20 or $100. And all they have to do is to determine how often they want to do it. Once a month, from every paycheck, once a year, whatever it is. But ultimately, the idea is for us to be able to do this in a very systemic way, in a very, whether it's blockchain technology and all these other exciting things that we talk about these days. But to make these things seamless, and that in my mind is the way that we're going to be able to channel diaspora resources to get not just a select few, but literally everyone to participate, because if everyone is participating in the consumption of all that we have out there in the global village, then everyone should be able to participate in the production as well.
So we should create that environment of inclusivity, but at the same time not scare people who wants to participate in it, right? Come in, but then you complicate the process. That just people forget about it. I'm not even bothering about it. So seamless is the keyword there, and that's what we're working on, and that's what you and your great organization are working on. And the likes of Mr. John Lombella are working on that great initiatives, and this is part of what we want to showcase at the EAF. And I'm gonna just acknowledge the presence of Ms. Aisha Abbas. Welcome, ma'am, joining us from Nigeria. I don't know if it's Lagos or Abuja. Pleasure to have you here. Awesome. And also, I'm going to come to Mr. Regis. I want to ask you a question because Dr. Chinedu was just talking about this, investment and the environment of getting investment. I want to talk about how the U.S. Africa Trade Commission and all of that, what they're doing to these days, to help in the area of investment. But I just want to just take a moment and just remind everybody that, the Emerging African Forum event is coming up on this September 17th through the 24th. And the days that you should really pencil in on your calendar, actually highlighted, is September 20th and the 22nd. Those are the days that we'll be featuring. And first day, the 20th, will be a hybrid event with a special in-person. And also the second day, which is the 22nd, is going to be an all in-person, but we'll be streaming live. So wherever in the world, we'll give you the credentials to be able to log in and be part of that celebration and exhibition. So if you're wondering who is going to be at this event, I want to just kind of paint a brief picture of what to expect here. We're welcoming at this event a global delegation of influential voices and businesses in the area of finance and economic policy in Africa and the diaspora. And you've seen quite a few of them here today as a sample. And they are prepared to present a blueprint for the next stage of international growth for Africa innovation and startup. So basically, anyone and everyone is welcome at the Emerging African Forum event. We are especially encouraging Africans on the continent and in the diaspora to attend this event. So please come join us and learn about key avenues to expand your ideas, your business, or your startup. Also at this event, you expect to see and meet or hear from investors. If you're an investor as well, you're welcome to tune in. Come and discover lucrative investment opportunities in startups that are owned and run by Africans. Business owners or companies that are looking to get market shares in Africa or to tap into opportunities they have identified on the continent. This event gives you that opening, so please join us. And if you are government entities in the United States looking to expand the reach within Africa and the diaspora nations, the EAF is that podium where we can all meet and be able to engage and eventually consummate some of these relationships. So that's what you should expect in terms of the composition of people that are attending this event. So that's very exciting. As you can see, it's very loaded. It's very enticing, and it's something there for everybody. So please join us. Contact us. So you can go to our landing page, our website for the Emerging African Forum, emergingafricanforum.com for more information. Thank you again for joining us today. And I just want to ask Mr. Regis, welcome again to the show today. What is current now with the U.S. Africa Trade Commission? What is it that you can tell us as part of our building up to this event that we should be excited about? What the U.S. is doing with trade, and also in relationship to the recent African free trade that has been enacted. What is the relationship of that, and what's the U.S. Trade Commission, U.S. Africa Trade Commission doing about that to bring about more investment and development on the continent?
First off, I need to appreciate. I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me? Just confirm if you hear me. Can you hear?
I think it will become clearer. Just
Can
keep
you
talking.
hear me?
So.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Well, yeah, great. The team again. First events like this in Africa and global perspective. I'm very, very excited about that. I listened to Anthony Jackson. His name is John, by the way. And I call him the administration of technology right now. The guy delivered a very impressive presentation on solutions that he's looking to create. I've spoken also with Dr. Chinedu, and his practical sense of breaking down very complex processes into actionable. I find very something we should always on investment portfolio. So I thank you guys for what you're doing. And about the US Africa Trade Council.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but can you try
yeah,
to
council,
speak
right?
off the camera? Hopefully we can hear you better. Yes. Your connection is unstable, sir.
Oh.
Thank you. Try that.
How is it now?
That's better. Thank you, sir.
How's it now? This is much better. Well, I said a whole lot there, not knowing that I was offline. So I was trying to acknowledge the Anthony Joshua of technology here, who I now call John, because he was giving a lot of punches here and there. Very exciting guy. And these are models we need to replicate here. I've also spoken with Dr. Chinedu, whose practical approach into making complex investments, procedures, extremely simple, right? These are the kind of things that we need to replicate. I think he's one of the best villagers I've met so far. He's a typical villager, knowing how to build clusters and then, replicate the whole process. That is very exciting. And very well. I've spoken with Eric. Eric is, whoa, that's a brilliant guy. You guys are lucky. Damn it. You guys are so lucky. Now, as we wind up towards the US Africa Trade and Investment Roundtable, the US Africa Trade Council, by the way, we are the council, not commission. You've been committing us for a while now. So we're actually the council. Right.
Thank you for that correction.
Right. So as we wind up towards the event, what we're actually looking at is, I had to poach, you saw what I did with Eric. We had to poach him. You don't leave a guy like that out there. We bring people. Our real goals is to ensure that policies, information, regulations, right, connects with opportunities, break it down into practical, actionable steps in an ongoing procedure whereby this cluster of people are able to pick this information this month and run with it. Okay? And then in the next month, they're able to, get another cluster and keep expanding the frontier of trade and investment across the US and African trade axis. And that's what we have been passionate about. 2 months ago, we did something with the Zambian Chamber of Commerce, and we had to open up amazing opportunities in Zambia. And startups projects. Just last result is always the round table presentation, and I can't wait to see what we'll be delivering. A sterling presentation on the opportunities in the tech space and how people can leverage on it. That's me putting it really simply. So what we are interested is first education from the governmental arm, and using the governmental arm to those who are up for the process. They need to come and validate and endorse the trade investment that is going on, whether we're moving into the complete technical aspect or the traditional way. We are incorporating tech the traditional way with the hope that those from the traditional will catch up with the technological. I hope you understand. Because if we give them just pure tech, it's just like you asking me to take physics. That makes me sleep every time, even as old as I am. So what we do is ensure that even the very manual person can say, oh, I can do this better through this channel, using those tools. That's exactly what we're trying to create. And most important, we want to see people with amazing being turned into investable portfolios, which we are all, because many people get stuck in the rut of, I have an amazing idea. But guess what? It's still the brick and mortar traditional process that keeps them in that rut. And guess what? 10 years down the line, they're still stuck in that idea. And that idea becomes a nightmare, realizing that, I had a great idea. Some people were just lucky. No, there is a model we can follow. So if we can create this model, even for the micro economy, I always like to talk micro because micro always becomes macro, right? When I was talking to Dr. Shinido, I called him the Obi Kubana of our end. He's doing if you are following the Nigerian news, there's a person called Obi Kubana who simply takes people out of his village and makes them millionaires using a proven, language that they understand. And that model is something I believe that we can all begin to do across clusters. So I'm very passionate about the trade and investment space. And when I saw the fact that you guys were digitizing that entire trade and investment axis, that won me totally. And now seeing the kind of people you're bringing on board, it's remarkable. Your event is going to be awesome. Just to say the least, it's going to be awesome. But very importantly, I've always said, let there be KPIs in advance, right?
Absolutely.
Let there be parameters to determine whether you're actually getting it right. Because you can have 10,000 attendees, but you missed the mark, right? So how can we ensure that the milestones, you just set them, that will tell you if you're doing something right or wrong, and you begin to expand from there. If you have 500 attendees and you're able to tick the most important parameters to your journey, I believe that is a higher conversion rate than having things haphazardly. So
Absolutely.
I just want to encourage us, as I have been, and I can't promise that I won't put my talent next month to Morocco.
Thank you.
Morocco. We're going to do an expose in Morocco, and from Morocco way to South Africa. So who knows? I think I already have a victim for South Africa, by the way. I think that's
And to add to what you just said, Regis, I think what we're trying to do is not about 1,000, 10,000, or 5,000 people, like in that space, right? But what it's a statement. What we're trying to do is basically to take the first. This is a bold, statement to say we're going to seize, we're going to take, control of the narrative. We're going to create our own space and determine what happens there, and also illuminate the people that we feel. We no longer want to be the minority in the space. We want to be the dominant, presence there, and also the dominant voice in that space. And then the allies and whomever, that want to interact, either for business or just, in a supportive role, they can, we encourage that, and we feel, we also want them to feel pretty much at home. And most importantly, that's what we want to basically, we want everybody, both in the diaspora and also on the continent, to understand, we no longer want to whine about it. We also want to, match that with some action. That means, action and also resource. It doesn't, as Dr. Chinedu just said, even if it's $10 or whatever it is, we can fractionally do a lot of, incredible things, leveraging technology. You don't have to wait for, the World Bank or somebody, to finance, project. I think with technology, John Lambert, knows. With the whole, you can aggregate those, those little dollars or nairas or Zambian kwachas or whatever kind of currency and leverage that and build projects. So ours is look at this step as an important step, a bold statement, that the diaspora, we're taking charge of the narrative, creating that safe space for us to be at, and also to show the brilliance that is abound, within the community itself. So with that said, I'll nudge it back to Chance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric, and thank you, Regis, for that and the things that you guys are doing with the U.S. Africa Trade Council. Thank you so much, and continue to advocate for us, advocate for organizations like the ACOFDC and others that are out there, in creating an enabling environment so we can be able to work seamlessly, if you will, to be able to implement some of the things that we're working on. So thank you for that. And thank you, Eric, for that quick follow-up on that, and adding more meaning to that, what we're doing here at the ACOFDC, and especially with this event. Madam Aisha, I want to welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Ms. Aisha Abbas has been a valuable and a tremendous asset for us during this time as we are trying to put this event together, especially on the continent, in the country of Nigeria. So I just want to acknowledge that, and I want to give you a moment as well to introduce yourself to this able gentleman that are here. You're the only lady in the house right now, so I'll give you a moment to just say something, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Aisha Abbas, and I'm reaching in from Nigeria, Kaduna to be specific. I'm a lawyer by some chance, but I am pretty passionate about the continent. And my passion led me to come up with ideas that I feel have been highlighted in this particular forum. I came in when John was making some very salient point, and I was just taken. I had to attend. I was going to come up with some excuse that I was coming in late and all of that, but it wasn't happening when, when I heard him speak. So here I am, and I am all ears. And that's basically it. I'm happy to be here.
Can you real quick, just real quick in about a minute, just tell us about that project you're working on?
Well, I started off, I'm a lawyer, and it's corporate law. And I decided to work with cooperative groups. And when I say cooperative groups, most of them turned out to be women, women farmers. So I identified that this group is a huge body of people that are productive and belong to an ecosystem, and they engage in volumes of transactions daily and do not have a framework upon which that would support what they're up to. So I felt like them being chugged to one side as the informal sector wasn't enough. I felt I could do something about it. And I thought tech was the best way to do it. Tech is something you could use if you wanted results on a large scale, you could use tech for that. So I went about asking questions, teaching myself. This is not an area I ever thought I would be involved in, but because I've worked closely with people in the rural areas, I felt I identified a demographic that required support, and we were open to providing that support. So we figured that would use a marketplace, aggregate data that would help us curate financial services for this particular group. So that's what we're working on now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Aisha. And part
pleasure.
of the one of the sessions that we're going to have, especially on day one at the virtual event on September 20th, it's going to be Women in Tech. And so please tune in. You're going to hear more about this. The reason why I wanted you to just kind of touch on it, so to highlight it so people know, if you want to hear more about how technology is really enhancing the work that women are doing in our community today, please tune in to the Emerging African Forum, a virtual event on September 20th. Don't miss it. A lot in there. An opportunity. I'm just saying this to you. I know you're going to be there. You're going to feature.
I will be.
But I want our guests, I want our audience out there and people in African community and the world at large to tune in, and be able to learn and find avenues where they can also be a part of the initiative. So thank you so much, Ms. Abbas, for joining us here today. And I'm going to go to Mr. Girardi, Head of Communication here at the ACOFDC, and also the chair of communication team of the Emerging African Forum. Um, you represent a very unique sector that is going to be, highlighted a lot during this event. And you are an entrepreneur, and you work in the area of mentorship and entrepreneurial skills development for young men and women in the area of agriculture. Mr. Kelvin, if you can hear me, I would like for you to just kind of offer your perspective on what young people in your sector should be looking out for as far as the Emerging African Forum event is concerned. If you can hear me, sir, you have the microphone.
Yeah, thank you, and Vitalis Tita, VP Communication and then Chair ELF OC 2021, and thank you, Lombella. You highlighted a lot that has to do with young people as regards to this question. But to react to the questions in particular, one thing I keep telling young people is gradually we need to start moving away from my farm, my idea, my startup to our startup, our farm, our idea, and what have you. Young people need to gradually begin to move away from the concept of doing it alone, going it all out alone, to embracing partnership, collaboration, and leveraging on platforms like Margin African Forum, and that offers you the platform to actually showcase your talent and to actually put yourself out there to the world in terms of showcasing what you have, and then leveraging on the platform to attract both investment and carving up a niche for yourself. And that is one. And secondly, I feel that I'm very passionate about agriculture because I believe that agriculture is one area, especially leveraging technology, emerging technology, as Lombella have highlighted, can actually provide a platform whereby we can lift a lot of young people that today are unemployed, today are moving around the street, to be self-reliant. And so one way young people can actually leverage the Emerging African Forum is to see how they'll be able to come together in teams. I believe in partnership. I believe in collaboration. I think that that is one thing that's lacking here in Africa. Everybody wants to be a master of his. Everybody wants to go all alone. Everybody wants to walk the mile alone. And of course, in today's world, you are a master of nothing because the world keeps evolving. What experience today tends to be a liability. Gone are those days where you say that I have 20 years experience in this. Today, your 20 years experience can become a liability because the world must have moved past the 20 years experience you've gathered. So it behoves on young people to come together to leverage expertise among themselves, to take advantage of opportunities like the ELF is presenting, and to jump up and then do something meaningful, not just for themselves, for their generation, for Africa, and then for the continent. And I kind of I align with Lombella enough, so much, because I've always felt that the African space, especially young people in Africa, particularly rural Africa, needs to stand up and then counted in our digital world today, so that we can actually build the empires of the future. I'm proud of what Lombella is doing. And if there's any young person hearing me around the world, around the globe, or that is watching this video, I want you to seize this opportunity to pick what the likes of John Lombella is doing as a challenge to create a platform where you can not just employ yourself or be self-reliant, but create a platform where you can provide jobs and employment opportunities for young people in Africa, and equally be self-reliant. Yeah, back to agriculture, because agriculture is one area I'm very, very passionate about. I believe in Nigeria alone, we have over 206 million people to feed. And the industry seems to be over $1 trillion industry in the next 9 years. So it's an industry every right-thinking young person should be thinking about. Of course, there are a lot of challenges around the industry. But one thing the industry presents is the entry level is very, very easy and minimal. You can just identify a piece of land, and the next thing you know, you are cultivating, and then you are empowering yourself, and then you are getting yourself self-reliant, and then you are providing or ensuring food security, not just in Africa, but around the world. So young people need to leverage this advantage. Of course, there are a lot of challenges that I need to know, from lack of access to input, from lack of access to capital, from lack of access to even land and water and what have you, to a lot of challenges. But I feel that the beauty of the industry is it presents very easy entry. And when you pull together as a collective or as a cooperative, it's pretty much easier. I challenge young people to always come together, because most of the government policies, if you want to come around it or overcome it, you need to come together. When you come together in cooperatives, you have easy access to finance, you have easy access to land. So I believe that this is highly connected to the Emergent African Forum. And I'm very, very proud to be involved in this. And I believe that with consistency, and then with more push, and then with likes of Chinedu and Wiki, who have come up to finance the empires of the future in Africa, I believe that we would have the future we hope for. Thank you, Vitalis.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for that. Very well spoken. I mean, keep doing what you're doing in that space, brother. You're on the right track. Africa needs people of your caliber. So keep inspiring, motivating, but just stay persistent, consistent. That's one of the key ingredients of success. So thank you for that. At this point, I'm going to just open it up, and we have a few minutes just to wrap this up now. But I want to give all of our guests here today the opportunity to ask any questions that they might have in relation to the Emerging African Forum coming up here. So I'll start with Mr. John Lombella. Do you have any questions as far as this event is concerned, sir?
Not at all, Vitalis. I think you, in fact, I had a question, but I believe you answered it. I wanted to understand, the event starts from September 17th to September 24th, but I think the EAF is only going to be showcasing, you said 20th to 22nd, is that correct?
Yep, 20th and 22nd.
And the 22nd. And what we're trying to do is we also want you to experience the week as well, to come here, right, because there are going to be a ton of investors around and other people, like-minded people within that week. You know, we're talking about thousands and thousands of people that you also get the opportunity to interact with. And as much as we would like to have you for a good 1 week and kind of just milk as much as we can, we feel, you know, it serves everybody, you know, well, like we're able to have you explore both the city and also the people that dwell in it. And part of it is to showcase, some of the brilliance, the Aishas of this world, the Chinedus and yourself, Lambela, to have that interaction, to know that people are actually putting effort, people are building, people are amazing. Forget the negativity and all the things that have been, churned out there, to give you the opportunity to also experience, other things outside the EAF. As part of that, also experience that we want, you to have. And one thing we also want to incorporate is, I think I shared with you today, is to have, to have on the auditorium the people that are unable to be on the ground. We want to have, produce, their banners, for instance, and brochures, and have it within a dedicated space or shared space. We could also have them, we're able to project them via Zoom on the wall, and have them, participate, through, the breakout, rooms, with would-be investors or any interested party. So we're constantly finding creative ways to serve the continent much more, and also the very enterprising Africans, both especially on the continent that are working on things and need that much and need that visibility badly. So absolutely. So it's so we're looking forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Eric. I think I wanted the clarity because I'm invited to speak here on September 17th. So I've been moved onto a slot in the morning. So immediately after that, in the evening, I can surely jump on a plane and travel through to Minnesota first, because I'm going to be there for probably 4 weeks and do a little bit of an African diaspora tour. And Dr. Chinedu, I appreciate the work that you're doing with Village Seed Ventures. I've been exploring your website, and I see that you guys invested as well in Harvest, I believe it is. And you're currently on a campaign for folks to actually join the waitlist. Those are exactly some of the initiatives that I'm really talking about. And what you put together is quite impressive, and I would love to get in touch with you on the back channel. Perhaps Eric can facilitate me getting your numbers as well. And
absolutely, Lambela, and without a doubt, absolutely.
I appreciate you all, and I appreciate Aisha as well for chiming in, and Julius and everybody else, Jiraji for challenging me with good questions. Regis, I definitely will be able to connect with you guys. I gotta go, and I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
You. Have a good day.
Yes.
All right, with that said, Dr. Chinedu, any last comments or questions?
Certainly, I just want to add to what Kelvin Jiraji said, regarding coming together and going away from this mindset of, my own and my thing. Collaboration is the key here. It's also at the crux of what we're trying to do. If we're going to do it, we got to do it together. We have to put resources together. The simple word that explains it all is collaboration. And I think EAF gives us the opportunity to be able to tell our story, get people involved, and for us to collaborate together to achieve our common goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time today, for being here. For all this while, we really appreciate your input, your valuable input, as you continue to support our initiatives here at the Chamber. Let's hear from Regis. Do you have any last comment? If your network will permit.
If the network will permit, yeah. Well, I'm interested in what's going on the back end, and I hope that there is a serious surge in interested participation, and you're engaging with stakeholders. And very importantly, the stakeholders are going to be onboarding even beyond the events. I think those are the things that I'm always looking out for. Yeah. So please, if you need help with back end, stimulation, maybe I can, inject one or two things. Who knows?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll take you up on the offer, Mr. Regis.
Yeah.
And just to add, we're really working, on the day one part of the in-person. There's a component of this book that Professor Kelly is supposed to launch, but what the reason why we have not sent out the event card is because his visa is still pending. You know, so he went with a regular passport, and now he's going to use his diplomatic, and the minister needs to sign up on that. So that's the reason why we've not, sent him out, because we need to do an entire as a book launch of, his is on the blockchain technology to share as a finance, engineer, to share his experience as well. And also, we did touch on the unveiling of, the F, PPP is a fractional, PPP is infrastructure finance on the blockchain, and also we talked about, the digital bank, the diaspora digital bank, and as two concepts, we're going to be unveiling, during the event. So we're working tirelessly. Hopefully, something amazing happens in terms, and hopefully he gets the much, the visa, and then that will. You will see those event cards, for the one in person, like the private event that we're going to send out shortly. But we've been working tirelessly. Aisha here has been several times to the minister's office, different, some of the governors, especially in Nigeria, to send out. And where we're going to need your help, most likely Regis here, some of the ambassadors and others that we also want them to be involved in this process, especially the day two. I'm going to reach out to you and see what we can do, within leverage your orbit or your network, leverage the US, Africa, organization to. Yeah, with that said, I thank all of you, Dr. Chinedu, and Regis, Aisha, Jiraji, Julius, and also John Mandela, and also amazingly, always amazing, incredible, Vitalis, our own Vitalis Tita here, for, just, just being that steady in the ship every time, like you, on and off the platform here. Thank you. Now, nudge it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that for your kind comment. And Madam Aisha, any comments? Want to give you that opportunity. You're muted. You can unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just to say, this has been very enlightening. It's I make bold to say that there's some kind of awakening going on, because this is not the first forum where I would be attending and find that there are people actually thinking in the same lines that I am thinking. So you're thinking you've come up with something novel, and and then there's somebody who has the exact same thought pattern with you. I think there's some consciousness going on, and we should hold on to that. Eric, you're doing great stuff, bringing people together. You have really encouraged me, the entire chamber, Vitalis. Everyone has been very encouraging. I have taken greater strides due to the support I've received, and I'm really appreciative. And I look forward to making more advanced strides with you guys together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you being here, being a part of us. You make us more valuable. So thank you so much for bringing a part of the chamber with you.
It's my pleasure.
Chamber what it is. Yes.
Thank you.
Julius. Julius was here with us, and I didn't acknowledge you, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, beautiful. Because of time, we might just have to run here, unless Jiraji, I know, Eric, you've said your piece, but I think I'm just gonna round this up and thank everybody for being here. It's been an amazing time this Sunday morning here, my time, spending this beautiful time talking about something that transcends, every one of us. This is something really bigger than any individual here. So I'm just privileged to be a part of it and be rubbing shoulders with geniuses and experts like you. So I thank you for that privilege. And so with that said, the Emerging African Forum is set to take place on the 17th through the 24th of September And the dates that we are really going to feature are the 20th and the 22nd. So we have the whole week for you to interact and rub shoulders with some of these big names and people that you can partner with, opportunities that are just lying in every corner on this platform. So please make sure you stay tuned and join us during those times. Thank you again, and until next Sunday, where we have our next media press and media brief. We hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you, and we'll see you next week.
And we're going to send you the backdrop, right? We're going to send you the backdrop to use, So next time, check out the emails. We're going to send you the backdrops,
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Chinedu.
Thank you.
And
have a beautiful Sunday. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
You get to give us music. No music today, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the flow was going. So let me
Got a girl, she's 5'3", beautiful chocolate skin indeed. Can't believe her insecurities, thinking that she's no good for me. Girl is written in the stars, you know you are the one. You know my love is true, I'll always burn for you. There's a fire you can never kill with water. You will understand. And the rainbow has no colors but the sunlight. You will understand. 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 Yeah. Pretty girls hitting on my phone. No, they never wanna leave me alone. It makes you mad. Paparazzi flashing light. You in the mood for another fight. Ooh, girl, you hear me